Time now for Sit Zero. This is where I get 60 seconds to talk about anything I want. Dina walked in. I haven't seen her in a while. In the National Hockey League, 50% of teams make the playoffs. Do they normally pop champagne when they clinch? No. In basketball, over 50% of teams make the playoffs. Do they pop champagne when they clinch? No. In baseball, a sport where 43% of teams now make the playoffs, do they pop champagne when they clinch? You bet they do. This is what the Jays clubhouse looked like Friday after clinching a playoff berth. And these scenes just didn't play out in Toronto. Oh, no. It was goggles paisan around the big leagues. A sport where nearly half the teams make the playoffs still elicits this type of reaction. Now, unlike basketball and hockey, Major League Baseball players play a lot more games. 162 is a full season. So I understand the excitement. But I have to be honest, it's becoming less special to make baseball's postseason. Going full palazzo mode in Woodbridge is a bit much. No? Donnovan Bennett of Sportsnet joining us. Donnovan, am I just getting cranky in my old age?
No, you've always been cranky ever since I knew you. A couple things. Shout out to Palazzo. Don't forget about Luxor. That was massive. You need to get a spot in the car on like a Tuesday. It was like fantasy waivers to go to an all ages there. But the key thing is YOLO. You only live once, Sid. If you had a kid and they had a good grade on their midterms, would you say, save it until you graduate, son? No, you'd be excited. You celebrate the small victories. A law firm, they settle a big case. They're not like, well, we didn't settle for the most money ever. You have to celebrate. Listen, there's only one thing that is inevitable and certain in life, and that's there's going to be a hard time. Along the way, in this little journey that we call life, or 162 game season in baseball, you have to find reason to be excited. And if you're a goal setter, right? So your goal is to wake up early and make people angry. If you're a goal setter in life, you set primary goals and secondary goals, and there's nothing wrong with celebrating the fact that the big goal is still within reach. If only one team ever celebrated every year, are all the other teams losers? Are they failures? I don't think that's how sports should work. And I would argue that tasting a little bit of that Don P, that having those strobe lights going, having the IG moment is a catalyst to say, this is fun, let's stay locked in, because I want to do this in a couple days again, in a couple weeks again, and I want to be the last time doing it. So would I be out there on Front Street celebrating? No, because I have a more muted personality, but I definitely think you should celebrate. There's nothing wrong with it.
I hear you. Two things quickly, though. One, if the Leafs were to do that after clinching a playoff spot in this city, they'd be laughed out of town, is the first thing.
Wait a minute. Maybe that's the problem.
No, the problem is the Game 7's the problem. That's not the problem. Game 7's the problem. Secondly, having those images out there, if they get swept by Seattle this weekend, is not good. Not good. I'm just saying. I think. Listen. You and I remember a time in baseball. 4 teams made the playoffs. 4 division winners.
Good for who? It's not good for who?
Them. It's ridiculous. 43% of teams make the playoffs in baseball. What are you going to popping bottles? What are we doing here?
Sid, they are in the 0.0001% of athletes in the world. So many baseball players are dying to get to where they are. And when they are in their rocking chairs, when they're 70 and 80 and 90, 70 is too early for a rocking chair. When they're in the rocking chairs and they're old, are they going to remember, man, we celebrated it a little bit too early, then we got swept? No, they're going to remember the stories, the camaraderie, all of those things that make life meaningful. So who cares what the blogs say? Enjoy yourself. You worked hard. Enjoy the fruits of that labor.
Donnovan Bennett of Sportsnet. Congratulations to the Jays for clinching something that they should have clinched. We'll talk to you next week, Donnovan. Appreciate you. I just don't need the bottles. Congratulations. I just don't need the bottles. We're going to take a break. Here's what I am excited about. The playoffs are around the corner. The playoffs are happening down the street at Rogers Center beginning Friday. Don't have times yet. We don't know who they're playing yet. Seattle or Tampa, not sure. We'll find out soon.